Mill tattled on me to my own mom, I'm 3 weeks postpartum. First of all, I'm 3 weeks postpartum, so please be kind if you reply. The last thing I need is negativity and BS when I'm a new mom taking care of a tiny human. I already have enough of that thanks to my just normal. Mill has historically been pretty kind and generous. She can be a bit overbearing, but mostly all sweet and it was tolerable. I've been with my husband for 12 years and I've never gotten into it with any of his family. I just had annoyances that are pretty run of the mill. Fast forward to my pregnancy, have a 3-week-old baby currently. In the last trimester, Mill started doing things that started to feel a bit controlling and overstepping. Being too involved in my baby shower that she was not invited to host and pissing my friends off who were the actual planners and hosts, not listening to my request not to post photos on Facebook and posting our whole shower on there for friends we didn't invite to see, asking her friend, who is a teacher, about our hospital because this friend has a niece who works at a totally different hospital and then proceeding to give me incorrect information, etc. I had 2 requests from the beginning that I thought were rather mild. 1. Get Tdap and flu vaccines to protect my newborn which are OB/PED recommended, and 2. Do not post my child on Facebook for her 2,000 friends I don't know. Simple, right? I gave her 6 weeks lead time on both of these requests, at which any point she could have contacted me with questions/concerns. My husband also spoke with her and Phil about these requests, which is where the first pushback came from. Mill didn't want to get vaccines because the same friend with the niece nurse almost died from the flu vaccine, And then they were annoyed they couldn't bring their amateur cameras set up to take 5 million photos of our shower. We said iPhone is fine, no pretend photographers necessary. After the shower, she posts a ton of photos without asking and we ask her to take it down. She does, but I don't hear anything from her. My husband took care of this. They also went radio silent on getting vaccines and the due date crept closer. I kept nagging husband to have a conversation with them so there were no surprises when we held firm if they choose not to get any, i.e. not meeting with us indoors or holding baby until she could get her own vaccines. Finally they get Tdap and I write a very nice text about appreciating them respecting our decisions, mostly to butter them up so they continue to be respectful. Then, baby is born and literally before I am even out of the hospital, Mill posts our birth announcement on Facebook without asking and outs our news to tons of our friends who we hadn't gotten to tell, as well as the other 2,000 random people I don't know. My husband tells her this was not cool and hurt my feelings. We had already asked her not to post. My text 6 weeks in advance literally said do not post anything about my daughter, and Mill decided if she posted a photo of her and Phil in grandma/grandpa shirts that was fine. Meanwhile, her Facebook is public and I don't speak to my dad's side of the family who has been actively trying to find out news about my baby. I never get an apology from her about this. A week later, my mom is in town visiting for the first time and Mill wants to come down to see baby and take photos for Grandparents' Day. Of course, I know this photo op is clearly so she can instantly post on Facebook to get herself gratifying likes from friends. So again, I say please do not post on social media. She then starts arguing with me. I tell her that I don't feel comfortable with a public account which she didn't know she had, so she starts changing settings and basically trying to get me to say okay fine, post. Instead of just accepting no and being happy to come see her first grandbaby in person, she's hung up on whether she can post on effing Facebook. Gross. Meanwhile I had also asked them a few days earlier to let me know if they were or were not going to get the flu vaccine and she told me flat out, no, due to her friend almost dying and her grandfather dying from the vaccine. Again, this is extremely rare and I don't have any proof of this being the case. That's fine, I can't control others' decisions about their body, but it will be a factor when we get together as we will need to be outdoors and be extra cautious through flu season. Not bringing it up and omitting her decision until I ask multiple times feels conniving. Like I'm just going to forget and not bring it up? So finally, I send a personal text laying out how I have felt disrespected in various ways and that everything I have asked to keep my baby safe has resulted in pushback from her. I said I did not appreciate her overstepping and ignoring what I say and doing what she wants anyways and that I needed to stop. I also said I wanted her not to post, period, since I could no longer trust her. I plead for her to remember being a mom and how she would have felt if someone continued to disregard everything she asked of them. I should also mention this lady was absolutely horrified of COVID and we did outdoor gatherings for 3 years. I would have been banned from all family gatherings had I chosen not to get the vaccines. Literally last summer, She wore a KN95 mask for hours in the airport and on a flight to Hawaii to protect herself from COVID, but apparently my infant with no immune system doesn't matter. Instead of taking accountability or apologizing, she sent me a very rude passive-aggressive response that I ignored. Then she sent me an even worse jab, using all caps, 2 hours later. I was furious, but refused to engage. This is the first time she has ever acted like this. Then, my mom is still visiting and we go out to lunch with the baby and I'm trying to let things go and move on. I am appalled and disgusted. That is such a desperate, low, backstabbing way to handle things. Like trying to garner sympathy and get my mom on her side? Are you fucking kidding me? They were not allowed to come visit after this. I haven't spoken with her since. My husband is furious with her after finally seeing that I was correct in seeing the writing on the wall and trying to be proactive with requests. Phil also sees it and did go get a flu vaccine, which I appreciate, but he won't really stand up to her or intervene. I truly think she has a Facebook addiction and I think her family needs to address it. But regardless, I am so upset and feel so betrayed by her. As I mentioned, I don't even speak to my dad or his side of the family, and my mom and I have a complicated relationship, trauma-filled home, divorce, alcoholism, etc. So for my mill to know this and still find it appropriate to meddle and try to get my mom in on it after being a complete see you next Tuesday. I just can't with her anymore. I have no idea where to go from here. My husband is in a terrible position. Like just. WTAF mill. Comment. You know what I don't like is discrimination by you so-called millennials. I am 64 yo and don't like Facebook, simply never found it appealing. I don't get overly involved in my son's lives but am right there when they need me. I worked with a 35-year-old woman who was so addicted to Facebook she kept open on her phone all day at her desk and would tell me things that popped up that I had no interest in. Don't discriminate against a whole generation because of a few people. Hey up, our stories are very similar in the sense that my family wouldn't take the vaccine. Long story short, after several olive branches and having a few simple rules constantly broken, I have gone absolutely zero contact with them now. Just from my personal opinion, but the energy you're saving rather than being wasted dealing with your Jane Mill will be worth it. Good luck with motherhood. Oh man, stories like this make me so happy I did it on my own, no baby daddy family drama, and MySpace was the only social media platform when I was pregnant, no family used it but us kids, I was 20 but yet. Other than going it alone and being high risk, I didn't have to deal with any of this. Thank the heavens above. I'm going to preface this by saying I've not read any other comments. Firstly, congratulations on your new bundle of joy. Soak up all the baby snuggles, and breathe in deep the new baby smell. Bliss. Time for you to step back from Mill. She needs a nice long time out for her behavior. You ask for very simple things, more than reasonable expectations and requests. She doesn't want to respect you as an adult, and more importantly, as a mom in your own right, she doesn't get to be around you and baby. She won herself an info fast, more restrictive than the info diet. Maybe if she offers a sincere apology she can start to have tiny crumbs of time around the baby, and if she respects your rules, she can earn more time. But we'll see. She got the baby rabies, so we'll see. Back to your much needed and well earned TLC, you are doing an awesome job. Being a brand new mama to a brand new baby is not easy. But look at you rocking it. Sleep when you can. Stare at the baby as much as you're able. Ignore Mill. Boundaries and consequences. Make sure you and DH are in agreement on the boundaries, then hammer the hell out of any boundary stomping. She does not have to be involved with your children if she disrespects you and puts them at risk for dangerous diseases. This is not her sandbox. She only gets to play if you invite her in, and everything she has done argues against inviting her. Please encourage DH on developing that shiny spine. Congratulations on the low. Enjoy every minute and every first you have with her. And do not ever let her be the one who enjoys the firsts. Those are for you and DH. Your Mill cares more about her 2,000 acquaintances than her real-life grandchild. Don't let her have any photos you don't want posted. She obviously has a serious addiction with FB. As for your Mill, refusing to be vaccinated because someone else almost died from an allergic reaction to a flu shot, should be followed by you denying her visits because someone else's kid almost died from the flu. Spending time with your child is a privilege, not a right. Keep your boundaries. Either she will follow them, or become the grandma you never see. My son is a doc. He made all the grandparents show him proof of Tdap and flu vaccines when their first child was born. I was a bit surprised by this, but did it? He may have accepted verbal confirmation by the third, I don't remember. We are in an uptick of COVID, and it swept through our extended family of 10 at the end of July/early August. 8 of the 10 had been super careful, never had it, and 9 of us got it. And now a 7-year-old is really sick with a viral illness caught during the first week of school. Please be careful of all the illnesses coming up. I love the image of 3 generations at the beach in So. Cal, enjoy that baby. Block, 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 and block again, that mill. What else is your husband doing besides repeatedly getting furious? Does he stomp his feet, sit in the corner, then wait for you to deal with his mother? I have only read your post once, but barely noticed solid, useful actions on his part. It's just you crafting this message and that, requesting vaccines, etc. Also, fleetingly showing you that she changed her privacy settings on Facebook isn't really a guarantee of anything. For all you know, she could post a photo of your child for only friends to see, then change the settings later to public view. She could also be sharing images of your baby publicly while the settings are tuned to hide this post from Up and her husband.